So I'm Dan McSweeney. I'm from San Jose. Um, for some of you, the only intro I need to give is that I work for Bruce Bullis. And if you don't know Bruce Bullis, he's our engineering manager, and um, most of the scripting that happens in Premiere Pro flows through him. I've been in Adobe 22 years, 10 with Premiere Pro. My team engages with customers and partners. A fun fact about me is that my grandfather was a early member of American Cinema Editors, and I keep his ACE card around to remind me. He cut Three Stooges films in 1957, so that's kind of fun. Um, my own son is studying economics, and my father was a nuclear scientist. So I think that being in movies skips a generation. And if you work in Premiere Pro and you do some integrations, you're kind of in the movie business. Let's all say that we're sort of in the movie business. And movies have a story arc, and I'm going to make the simplest one is sort of happiness and time. And there's my axis. And if I was going to guess, I think UXP is probably a romantic comedy. So let's look at the story arc, and it's a classic. They sometimes they call it boy meets girl. It could be girl meets girl, it could be boy meets boy, but the story always starts out great, and then something kind of falters. There's some stormy weather, and then it kind of goes up by these little steps, and then it's better than ever before. So let's go through this plan like it was a movie. And before I go into it, this is called foreshadowing. It's a sneaky little narrative device to make you stick around all the way to the end. So there's going to be some good stuff. So we announced that we would move from ExtendScript to UXP. It's going to be a modern JavaScript environment. We're going to expose more of the Premiere Pro API. Things are looking great. It takes time. Okay. But Premiere Pro is finally exposing UXP-based extensibility. And now we have a team of developers working on this full time. If you've done some work scripting for Premiere Pro, you see on the left, we've got ESTK, ExtendScript Toolkit, and all of the exposed methods and objects. And then on the right, we're having similar things. So we're moving towards a one-to-one parity between ExtendScript and UXP, and we are preparing the equivalent documentation. And we're on target to achieve that milestone by Adobe Max. That's mid-October. So everything currently available to developers in ExtendScript will be ported over to UXP. If you've played in this again, on the left, it's got this very, very ugly integration panel where we put a button for everything we know how to do in ExtendScript. And on the right, we're starting it in UXP, and we'll be updating it with ExtendScript objects. So for example, you see a button called Add Effect, rotate 180 degrees. So that button is pretty cool. It looks pretty simple, but it adds a transition. It sets both an in and an out keyframe, and it applies a motion effect. And we already have this sample UXP panel that we're testing internally. It's simple, but it has new functionality. The buttons, for example, are aware, like a button can go gray if not available. For example, no sequence, no media, well, you can't add a transition. So the button has a disabled state flowing from the application to UXP. You can query the app. Okay, just one example. Okay, so I said we're on target to achieve that milestone by Max, mid-October, and UXP integration in 2025. And then I said there was going to be some big reveal. Here it is. That's today. Yes. All of you who registered for this event today, I'll give you a moment. Everyone's pulling out their phone and copying. We're going to make this available. Maybe Ingo can put it in the chat. If you registered today, here's a URL or a barcode in Premiere Pro Purple, and we'll add you to our private pre-release, pre-beta, whatever you want to call it. Bruce Bullis is camping in Yosemite National Park this week. He won't know I'm doing this, I'm going on vacation when he's back, so I can totally get away with this, and you'll get access to the site. You can download an archive that contains the tools you need to build and load UXP panel in Premiere and our sample panel that I just showed you with those buttons. And we want you to be a part of the dialogue that helps us steer engineering toward what APIs do you want us to focus on. So once we have full parity between ExtendScript and UXP, where do we go next? What do you have up your sleeve? What cool things do you want to do? And we're going to try and go in that direction. I said this already, I'll say it again. Our current progress, full public beta by Max, UXP support in Premiere Pro in 2025. Okay, moving on. What is this next bump in our UXP happiness story arc? It's Amit who's going to talk about UI. And maybe you should introduce yourself too, Amit.
Hi, yeah, so this is Amit Gupta. I'm working on Premiere Pro. I'm looking at all the UXP APIs that are available today and going forward. So yeah, I'm talking about the UI, how to write your UI in UXP. So if you're coming from Photoshop land or Illustrator land where you have a little bit experience with UXP UI development, then nothing is new for you. So you can use the same component that you using there here in Premiere Pro. You have various options. You can use your HTML, JavaScript, CSS style UI. Having said that, UXP is not fully fledged browser capabilities, so there are a limited set of CSS styling available. But there's new Spectrum web components available, and if you're joining the pre-release and getting the latest beta builds to try it out, you can start using Spectrum web components. And we are actually adding more and more components in Spectrum web component library. So yeah, you have full-fledged UI development modules there. As Dan mentioned, we are working on currently ExtendScript parity that you'll get. But if you have any other areas of Premiere Pro that you want to explore via scripting APIs, do join our pre-release and let us know, and we can prioritize them. There are many more areas in Premiere Pro which are not yet exposed via ExtendScript APIs, and we are planning to do those via UXP only. So that's another push for you to move to UXP. So yeah, that's pretty much it from my side. Over to you, Dan.
Very cool. Thanks, Amit. Amit, remind me, you're in Seattle. I'm just going to say yes. I believe Amit's in Seattle. Anyway, so we're cruising along. We're making progress. You have tons of questions. This is good. Get them in the chat. We'll discuss or answer what we can. We'll follow up with the ones we can't. The reveal of giving everyone access to the UXP sort of skunkworks pre-release is new, so we may not have a channel set up yet for full communication. We're going to get there. For now, perhaps the SDK forums will be a good place to start. And I'm going to go back through this. So we're moving to UXP. Very excited. Today you get to join pre-release. By Max, we're going to have parity between what you currently have been using in ExtendScript and what's new in UXP. Amit gave us a great discussion about what kind of UI choices you have. What could that dot up at the top right possibly be? What could be better than what I've already told you about? That's what I'm talking about.